How to preserve whipped cream. Does it need to be kept in the fridge? How long does it last at room temperature? Can it be frozen? Below are some tips on how to store whipped cream to prevent it from spoiling too quickly. Tips for preserving whipped cream. Whipped cream bought in cartons or bottles, pasteurized, can be stored at room temperature while sealed, unless the packaging states that it must be refrigerated. If you prefer, you can store unopened whipped cream in the refrigerator for the time indicated on the package. It won't be a problem. Once opened, you can whip all of it or just a portion and store the rest. If you don't use it all, reseal the original package well, or transfer it to an airtight container, and place the remaining liquid whipped cream in the coldest part of the fridge. Opened liquid whipped cream will last about 2 to 3 days in the refrigerator without going bad. Important! It may last a few days longer. Check by smelling and inspecting it, just like you do with milk. If it seems fine, try whipping it to see if it holds consistency. If it doesn't, it has spoiled. Leftover whipped cream, already whipped, can also be stored in the fridge in an airtight container. Homemade whipped cream, not pasteurized, can be stored whipped in the fridge for up to 24 hours if made with gelatin, cream cheese, cornstarch, or another stabilizer. It spoils much faster than pasteurized cream and can become runny quickly. If you didn't use a stabilizer, it will only last about 2 hours in the refrigerator. In the case of chantininho, a type of whipped cream made with powdered milk, it's best stored already whipped in the fridge. Chantininho will last up to 2 days at most. As the fresher it is, the more stable it remains. Can you freeze whipped cream? Yes, you can freeze pasteurized whipped cream. This is the best way to preserve it long term. Ideally, freeze it already whipped, but you can also freeze it in liquid form. Note, if it's chantininho, do not freeze it. The manufacturer does not recommend freezing. Whipped cream in spray cans should also not be frozen. If the whipped cream is already whipped, transfer it to a Ziploc bag or wrap it in plastic wrap, shaped into a rectangle, without pressing too hard. Store it in the freezer. Whipped cream will last about 3 to 4 months in the freezer. To use whipped cream that has been whipped, remove it from the freezer an hour to an hour and a half before use and let it thaw in the fridge. Do not leave it at room temperature. Then whip it again in the mixer and it will return to normal. If not, add just a little bit of liquid whipped cream from the fridge and beat until it reaches the right consistency. If your leftover whipped cream is still liquid, place it in a lidded container or airtight container and store it in the freezer. It will last the same amount of time indicated on the product packaging. However, freezing liquid whipped cream is not ideal and may not work depending on the brand. For liquid whipped cream, thaw it in the refrigerator overnight, never thaw at room temperature. Then beat it in the mixer until it becomes firm. It should whip up normally without becoming runny. How to tell if whipped cream has gone bad. Always check the smell and appearance. When whipped cream goes bad, it may have a sour smell, strange color, thick or rough texture or lumps. Mold may also appear. If you notice anything wrong, do not taste it, discard it.